Hi folks, it's me again. We try to prove everybody over unity. This gentleman here flew from France. His name is Roman. I'm going to let him introduce himself, who he is, and then we'll start with the video and how it works. So go ahead, Roman.
So yeah, I'm just a part of the New Earth Nation. So you can find newearthstation.org. I'm the co-director of the Maths and Physics Academy of the New Earth Nation, which is a platform that wants to bring new information for the people and just get the new Earth ready, like a new information, new paradigm through a completely new understanding of reality. And that's why I came here to actually check all that and develop new ideas around this new concept of cold electricity.
So we're going to be doing we're going to walk from the beginning of the electricity. We have to put so much in. So we start with a Brigand Strat 4-horse. So my input for everybody, and I don't want to have any more question, my input is 4 horsepower. Primary, that's your first delivery. Your primary mover. So you have to have a mover to start an electricity. Doesn't matter if it's moving parts, non-moving parts, you have to give something into it. It's no such thing as free energy. But we can amplify it. Not multiplication, amplify it. So and then we have a fuse between this, which is 30 amp. Anything past 35 amp, this fuse will burn. So we get all that. Okay. Now we walk into the inside, follow the wire. We have 1500 watts consumption, 1450 watts, 1450, 1500 watts,
yep, there you go,
1500 watts the next one. So we already know my machine cannot run that. It's way over. Way over.
So we have
anybody who knows electricity will understand what I'm saying. The other people, they're going to have to figure it out.
150, 150, 145, 150, we're close to...
Now 150 is 1500, 1500. 150 is only...
Okay, 1500, 1500, 1500. 1500, 1450, so 1500 again, so we're close to 6,000 watts.
Yeah. So we have 6,000 watts of load. Mechanical, non-mechanical. That way we know we have a hurt in it, not a smooth current. So what we do, we bring the power, we hook it up to only one side of this transformer. We hook it up to this transformer. And this is a 50 kVA can.
all right,
That's 50,000 watt. And we're producing high voltage, but the conversion goes to cold radiation. The amperage coming up at high voltage produce cold radiation. The temperature really drops off more than normal. And as we're going to hook up the system, the radiation was going to lower down because we're using radiation. It's got fluctuation of radiation. And that's normal because radiation is your energy, not amperage. We are totally wrong when it comes to amperage. It's volts and radiation only will make things move. As long as the radiation have an oscillation at 60 hertz, you're good to go. So what we'll do, we'll make this can, activate this can, which will produce a very high volt with cold radiation, dump it into this can, which is 25,000 watts.
So to measure the cold radiation, we're going to use this infrared thermometer. So basically, you can check that right now it's measuring 4 degrees.
Oh,
if I put it in front of my hand, I will be at 22 degrees. That's my external temperature. Okay? Because it's pretty cold. It's pretty cold here. If we are checking the temperature here, it's exposed to the sun, so we are close to 8, 9, 10 degrees above zero. Alright?
Okay, yeah.
Now, what I want to show you is if we're pointing to the sky, we are showing minus 47 degrees.
Get it.
You put the light on it so they can see.
Yeah, you got a light there?
Minus 49, minus 40. As soon as I put my hand, 20.
Can you lock that?
That's the maximum light. That's the maximum light.
You can lock by taking your finger of the trigger. As soon as you take your finger off the trigger, it locks.
Okay, bring it down so I can see.
Minus 41.
Okay.
I put my hand 20. Okay?
Okay.
So this is measuring right now the temperature of the ionosphere, or the whatever the temperature is above it. Okay, so here it's correct. 4, 4, 7.
I got
Okay, so
reflection.
this machine is accurate. It's working, and we're going to check the temperature of the core radiation after.
All right, so now I'm going to start a generator, and if everybody, you can Google the name of that generator, and you can buy it online. It's still some available, so you can do the test on your own.
On your
You
own.
can also do it with any form of transformer. You don't need to use this transformer. Actually, we think that maybe the easiest way to use it is to use a big inverter, solar inverter, for example, a professional solar inverter,
It works.
and it would be able to recharge automatically the energy by it. So now we're going to start it, and we explained all that before because it's going to be a bit noisy, so it's going to be hard to talk. So we're going to use tools to show the input energy that's going to come into the first pole transformer, and then we're going to show the output energy that goes in all these machines.
Down, but I'm still running it. Right now I'm over and I'm not blowing the fuse. I got a 30 amp fuse over there. 15, 3000, 14. And I'm still maintaining it. As you see, that big tank, and now it's this one. And we're maintaining a flow. But this is a 5-power generator. It doesn't run on amp. It runs on cold radiation.
Now, is it stopping one of them? If it's going to stop one of them,
Again, I'm gonna release some of the radiation back to the can. Look at the temperature drop.
minus the negative temperature increase.
Look at that. Radiation is unscraped. Because the equipment won't run out. So, all we gotta do is just manipulate that a little bit and have no loss. Now, that's how many amps I'm putting into it, which is early none. Come in. I want you to see that. How can I run this? Go for it. Go for it. won't be able to see an amp. There's radiation.
And the other one?
The amp doesn't change because I'm not pushing amp. We have a problem with calculation because the system doesn't really work with them. It works.
I want to be careful with that wire.
That's my radiation level. See, the radiation is bouncing out. This is a gadget counter in a closed loop. All you read is radiation. Either hot radiation will give you the same reading as cold radiation. Because this cannot tell you which one it is. You just calculate a volume of radiation. Are you getting it?
Yep.
So, and that's why. Now this generator has no brush. It's a brushless generator. And we're not putting, because that's called bipolar. It creates radiation in a certain level. All we have to do is maintain the right amount of radiation going to one can, and it will do the transfer back to the other one and push straight radiation and voltage into the unit. And your whole house, you will never burn a light bulb after that, period, because radiation do not burn. Our electricity we have from the coming up in our system is got a really sharp end, which sharp end is heat on your wave. We don't have this with that type of generator and feeding that type of electricity into those transformers. Now, if it was transformer, we could just tune them up. It's just a question of tuning. It's just like a car. If it's not tuned properly, it doesn't run right. Well, right now we have overloaded. I should have burned that 30 amp fuse, right? Way past that, but instead, I'm shooting radiation. So I can only put so much radiation in those cans. It takes a while to fill up. They're just like a tank of gas. You start that, you got to fill up the radiation. You got to fill up the radiation. When you can fill radiation, you have output. So if we move the radiation, if we learn how to move the radiation properly, those cans are capable. It's just a question of tuning the can properly, and we should have way more. We can produce more radiation on the users, because now when you hook up one of those machines, especially a heater, is a solid element, the radiation is consumed to convert into heat. And that consumed, because now heat is radiating. You're taking energy out of physical element and you radiate this energy and you cool it up. So it demands constant feed of radiation. So the element can do its job and radiate the heat, converted the cold to heat. And that's with the system with a regular pole transformer. We manage to be able to prove then what we have on the pole, what we have on those lines up on the pole is called radiation, not warm radiation. In a very large volume, but that's what we call high potential. I mean, we'll have no equipment to test the voltage of the output of those things. It's high voltage, and so far I could not find any in my book of equipment, any equipment that going to give me a 10,000 volt or 20,000 volt reading. They all stop at, that one's 1,000. It goes all the way up to almost 1,060 volts.
You can't measure anything over 1,000 because you're going to get killed trying to measure it.
Exactly.
So
that's...
We've got a high voltage tester. You can probe closer to tell you that there's voltage there. Other than that, it's too dangerous for humans to measure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just for the instrument to get it, it would jump all over the place.
Yeah, it's going to explode.
Yeah.
It's going to blow you up. It's going to kill you.
So, I mean, we're talking about a tiny little amount of energy, and to how much the weight, Neil, those cans are?
It says right on them, about 300 kilos.
300 kilos a can. So I mean, that's. Well, let's say we got 500 kilos altogether. That's a lot of coppers and aluminum and iron to fill up, and plus you have to. you have to modulate the oil. The oil inside also have its own element, and it's cold. So if this transformer was hot, it would produce more,
Okay.
literally, because it doesn't have to heat up. It doesn't have to waste all this energy.
I've got to run.
All right, we'll talk to you, Neil.
Yeah, talk later.
Thanks a lot again to let me use your shop. Nice boat, by the way. When do we go fishing?
On my boat.
Ah, damn. But here, that's a sample. If you want to find out, please, the people who are interested, who have knowledge of AC currents, not a battery, AC currents, I will respond to the email. But anybody who have no knowledge and they think this is not, it's impossible, please be quiet. Sit on a fence like you've been doing all your life and just watch. That's all I'm asking. I don't want to answer any more questions on somebody who don't have the knowledge of AC currents, who cannot even change their flat tire underneath their car. So I just want to be able to go forward with my research, not spending my whole life explaining something is working. So thank you very much, folks. We'll see you next time. Okay, so here we have technology who was actually patented by Nikola Tesla in 1886, bought by Westinghouse, the full manufacturer of AC current and distribution system. I believe it was in 1896 or 93 when Westinghouse bought it. People can check it out. But we have the technology for over 140 years. The same technology, just look a little different, but pretty much the same technology inside. Since day one, Westinghouse, when he bought the patent, he wants to make sure no one will know how to amplify energy. Amplification cannot be calculated with numbers, can only be manifest, correct? Because that's what we see. Radiation is something that would appear and disappear when you turn it off. Cold radiation is not, it's the other side of the spectrum of the hot radiation. Hot radiation, you could not turn it off when you activate hot radiation. This thing is totally safe, but you still have a lot of voltage and a lot of potential. So we still have to be careful to work with those cans. Is a lot of voltage, thousands and thousands of volts. Right now we're feeding at 14,000 volts. We're jumping 14,000 volts across those two cans. I have to produce 14,000 volts with one can by feeding into the low end and bouncing up the other can. That's 14,000 volts I'm making with 120 volts and 2,800 watts. So just as if you think about tuning in all that stuff, and you will be able to produce enough energy with a small amount of energy produce enough to run your house. Well, why we don't know? No one told us that 100 years ago, 120 years ago. We could be disconnected, have our own energy, each house have their own energy, each farm have their own energy, each industry have own energy, and remove all this wiring. This ugly wiring would cause cold radiation and people living beside it.
And each car, each plane,
each car,
boat,
each boat, no motor.
Everything could run on
electricity because they can make their power inside the vehicle. Because that's, if you think about it, that's exactly what you're doing with the vehicle. You're putting fuel in a tank, it goes into your motor, you start it, it creates energy by running. It's using the fuel in the tank to create horsepower. Well, electricity pretty much works the same ways. You got to feed him with something to energize those cans with a 60 hertz, and he will do the magnification all by itself. And that's what radiation is all about. So why are we paying electricity, and why suddenly we have no ground, no resistance in the earth anymore? We cannot use the earth as a ground. It's a false pretension. It's no resistance. I cannot light up anything with one wire with 120 volt and 100 amp on that wire and use the earth as a ground. So why call it the ground anymore? Let's call it a return line or a vacuum. It goes right back to the factory. We've been ripped off for at least 130 years, literally.
Yeah, apparently these measurements show us that the difference between one pole and the other pole show a loss of, 5%, 10% of the energy. So it seems that the energy company just need to produce 10% of what they are selling to us to maintain this on, which obviously mean that there's 90% of this energy that can be recycled and used, which is again another proof that we can generate over unity, and over unity is here, it's known, and it has been hidden from us since more than 100 years. And when you think about it, and when you think about how we are destroying the planet today, and how we need to invade countries to steal resources, and we need to kill billions and billions of people over the last 100 years just because we needed to take control of their resources, it's pretty disgusting. It's really, really disgusting. And I really hope if you have a little bit of humanity left in your soul, you will try to do something to bring this knowledge out. Prove us wrong. Just prove us wrong. Just replicate this and prove us and explain us how this is wrong, how we can't generate more energy output than input. Because I hear this for years and years and years. Newton said conservation of energy, conservation of energy. We talk about the knowledge that is like 300, 400 years old. And this law is still applying today. Are we sure of that? What do we try to prove this is wrong? And why those energy company knows about it? Why those energy company, like when we fill the tank, we are making a donation to those people. We are giving them our money. We're giving them our power. And what they do with that? They just keep the money, corrupt the whole system, the corporation, the government. We know that the government doesn't work for us. They're working for the people who pay the bill. We know that. If you have a little bit, just a tiny bit of humanity, you will know that they are not working for you. Look around you. Are you happy? Are you happy in the world you're living in? Are you happy in your life? Like, is it really the best thing that we can do, folks? Is it really the best thing that we can do for humanity? Like, just prove us wrong. Just say that we're saying bullshit. We're happy to answer those questions.
Or at least bring the same test to us and show what we're wrong. Where do we went wrong? Where the calculation is wrong? And we don't have cold radiation. You got to prove me cold radiation do not exist. Because so far, I'm the only one who's saying we have cold radiation. So anybody want to challenge that one? I'm up for that one, because we're living in a world of radiation. We're living in a world of linear communication. Each channel, hundreds of thousands of linear and channels. You cannot transmit one word, one data bit, if you cannot encode radiation on a wave. So if radiation is not that important, we wouldn't have communication. Now, we've been working with cold radiation for a long time, and they all know about it. For example, cold laser for surgery is cold radiation. It's no other way. It's not hot radiation, it's cold radiation. I can cut, if I use the transformer and use the output, which I can show in my place, I get a double voltage transformer, pole transformer. I can bring the two wires together and we can make it spark and cut. The insulation, the smoke, the smell is all there. And you remove that, you put your finger on it, and it's no radiation, no heat whatsoever. Now, cold radiation, if you go into an extreme cold, is just as powerful than hot radiation with not leaving any residue. When you turn the switch off, no more radiation. You turn the switch on, radiation comes out.
And it's already used in the industry. It's called plasma welding.
Plasma
welding is just expression, manifestation of cold radiation. And we already proven a lot of time it can bring heat, it can bring cool, we can do amazing things with it. We can fusion aluminium in a few seconds just with water, because water is made of hydrogen and oxygen. This is again core radiation, implosion of energy, not an explosion of energy. The universe is bipolar. We are just focusing on the explosion. We never look for the implosion. This is showing an implosion radiation, and that's why it's absorbing radiant temperature. The radiant temperature is just the manifestation, the negative radiant temperature is the manifestation of an implosion energy, which is sucking the radiant energy. So guys, wake up. Wake up. We can't continue like that. If we have a little bit of humanity, if we just have a little bit of intelligence, we can't continue this split like this. We need to get rid of those guys. We need to make our own experience. We need to run on free energy, and we need to move forwards, because we can't continue like that.
That pretty much sorted out. I think, we have the people who will always question anything. And you will have the people who will sit down and think about it for a couple of days, mull it over, and come up with their own idea. And please apply your idea. Don't ask question. If you have an idea, apply. That's how I got to here. I didn't ask question. I did it. I was not afraid of getting shocked a little bit, but you have to be careful with those transformers. They will kill you on both ends. When those can puts out for a short moment, they will giving you 200 amp at 120 volts. Instantly, it will kill you. The other one is 50 on a can. It will give you 500 amp at 120 volts. It will kill you. So you have to be careful to a certain point. You cannot just jump up and start grabbing all that stuff. Play it smart. Play it safe. I mean, it's electricity. It's like a nice dog. When you pet it, but if you give him, you start poking with a stick, he's going to get mad and bite you. It is exactly what this energy is.
And if there is investors that would like to help to bring this, please contact us. There's no problem making money as long as it is for the right things. Like selling things to free people, no problem. As long as there's no program obsolescence, as long as this is working, and as long as we are stopping destroying this planet when we're born.
I mean, just that. Now, a house needs one transformer. Now we need two. This means is a massive amount of labor and industry have to open to produce the extra transformer. The installation. When everybody is off the grid, how much work it takes to remove all that crap we have in the air. All these ugly wires around everybody. It's just ugly. You take a beautiful scenery, you throw a power line in the middle. Oh, it makes you that's it.
And all the money that we can save for the environment, like all this destruction, the carbon dioxide that are put, like all the pollution can be stopped in a few months just by transforming every car into an electric car and run on free electricity. This is a big model. A car doesn't need that much. These just cost about $3,000 each. So we talk about $6,000 investment plus an inverter plus a battery, something like this. We talk about less than $10,000 to be completely out of the grid.
But we have to make sure when we say inverter, you cannot use electronic inverter, especially made in China. They do not make true AC currents. They're garbage. Anything electronic to convert into true AC currents is garbage unless it's industrial and you have solid transformer and capacitor, not electronic transformer. And this is the biggest thing is to make sure your input is not fluctuating, it's steady. And if everybody want to jump, if some people look at this and believe in what I was doing, then you can contact us, send us an email.
And please don't waste our time. We will not answer people who just like trolls or people who just want to be the smartass. Like, there's absolutely no point. We're just going to ignore you anyway.
We live in a country, some people still think the world is flat, so I mean we can't convince everybody. But for the people who actually grasp some technology here and they're willing to help us, I mean and even work with us. No, never mind just help us, work with us. if they have knowledge to say, hey, I can make that better. I'm only one person, I'm one head, you know, and I always find out, you know, through the years, more brain power is always better.
Because if the first law of Newton was wrong, the whole civilization we live in is wrong. If this law of conservation of energy is wrong, it's everything that we think of this reality that is wrong. Like who knows what is the real color of the sun? Who knows that? Who knows? We just listen to the media, we just trust them. Look what they do with the trust. Look what they're doing with our trust. We trust them, and that's how they treat us. That's how they treat the whole planet. We need to stop those psychopaths. We need to do something. newearthnation.org, newearthnation.org. You will find lots of information. You will find a lot of people that are fed up of this system, fed up of being the slave into this debt, into this plutocracy. Like, we need to do something. Please join us.
Well, we're going to cut it off slowly, and just remind, we've did a lot of talking, but we're starting with a very small amount of energy with 30 amp fuse, which at 32, 33, 34 amp of demand, it would have burnt out. And when you load everything and you create a demand of 5,000 watts, and it's still pushing out, it might work harder, but it's still pushing out, and that fuse is not burning. Now, for any electrician, this is hard to believe.
One more point. This guy here spent 1 year of his life inspiring us. He spent 1 year of his life trying to show the path. There was always just one Jesus, one John Lennon, one Martin Luther King, one JFK. There was just always one person that could change completely history. Be one of them. Stop finding excuses. Move your ass. Check it. Speak about it around you. Check it. If you don't believe it, just replicate the experience. There's a lot of experience that he did that cost less than $100. You can do it. Learn. Stop believing. Just learn. The belief is gone. The religious are gone. Even the media, the government, we stop believe those people. We stop trust those people. You need to trust in yourself. Do your homework and come and join the resistance.